Well, we did it. We're live. We're here on Play for Time. One day we'll have an intro and it'll be glorious. Kerry's here, of course, still no voice. And Dan is here with us as well because Dan has been in on so many of our shenanigans that we had to bring you along. Hi, Dan.
Sorry, I'm not
Hello.
rude. I just have no voice because I've got laryngitis.
I know you're not rude. I appreciate that.
Kerry, can you remind people what that service is called that you used to make all of that stuff? I know that's going to take you a minute, but I figured you could just throw a banner or something.
Nope.
The soundboard element of this is just great. So we have a few clips today we were going to go through, and we had a few different things. So we talked a little bit about this, I think, already, but now we have the clip to go with it. Dan and Kerry and their kid and I all went down to see Johnny Cupcakes in Boston for his last time. So I thought we could run the clip and then we could just kind of reflect on it after. So we're at Johnny Cupcakes in Boston, where we have our Johnny clothes on.
We do.
As well.
Merch.
It is the last day he's going to run his store here in Newbury Street in Boston. How long has he been in business? Do you know that?
18 years he's been at this location.
Wow.
So the brand is going to live on. It's not like it's over for Johnny. But he's closing this store. It's sad, but we came down to visit.
Yeah.
Come on in. Let's show you the oven. We're going to push the button. And the oven opens up and we go in. Come on, let's go.
So this is it. This is the last day in the store, but the story goes on.
The story goes on. It's just a chapter change. I've been doing this for 24 years, 18 years in the shop, but I can't let this define me. I've got a lot of projects that I'm excited to make time for and space for. And losing my mom this year, plus my store getting burglarized, and also me being a family guy, it's just, it's just hard to have a store and save space in my mind for the things that are more important. So I'm very excited, and I'm going to do it all at my own pace. So I'll be making updates on LinkedIn and leveling up my speaking engagements. I got delivered in a wooden crate this year filled with McDonald's playpen balls.
I've been loving watching your little shares on that.
Thank you.
I wanted to show you another thing ye old super fans have brought with them.
Ooh,
All right.
What do we got?
So,
what do we got?
We've been fans for a long time, and we couldn't let old shirts go to waste.
Yeah.
So my mom helped us out, and my mom made us.
Oh, you got some goodies in here. Oh.
So we were wondering maybe you could sign that for us somewhere.
Of course,
On the light.
yeah. This is good. This is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Very cool. Well, tell Mom I said thank you and
Will
hello.
do.
And yeah.
As you probably
great.
saw, the place was packed. A lot of customers, but also a lot of old friends. There are a lot of people that came in who are old friends and of Johnny's and wishing them luck. So it was really cool to see. But like you said, the story will continue.
Plus, I just keep thinking, I was saying to Max this, what's really cool? This is a guy who is like a schmuck in a retail store drawing pictures and stuff like that and turned it into an empire.
Yeah. So good luck, Johnny.
See you, Johnny.
We're proud of you.
And there it was. So we had a great time. That was a celebrants. Someday we'll bring another installation of the two a-holes visit set up. Although we got close to doing that on one of our other ones today. Yeah, so good. It was good to see you're getting a lot of belated happy birthdays from people. So very nice. All the belates.
11 Labs.
11labs.io.
11 Labs. Yep, got it.
That's what Kerry is using for her soundboarding.
Now, we are still actually pursuing medical efforts to try to get Kerry's voice back online, including trips to Boston. And on the trip, the royal the trips to Boston, I had work to do in Boston, and Kerry had a quick doctor visit there. And as a little bit of a birthday sideline, we went to the Beacon Hill bookstore, which Kerry had seen these videos on. So we got a chance to go visit that. It's a... You may have seen it too in the Johnny Cupcake video. I'm huge. And I have to tell you, this little bitty independent bookstore is very tall, but very narrow and very tiny. So it was kind of a funny, exciting experience to be in there. Holy tiny, though. You'll see a little bit of this. Hey, when someone has a birthday and they really like to go to little tea things, then we take someone to the Beacon Hill bookstore to go get some tea. So we're here, and it turns out they only do their tea events on Sundays, so we don't know what we're walking into except for a little bit of food. So it's a really cute little bookstore. It is smooshy tiny, especially for a giant person like me. The food was delicious. I had a bacon and I don't know what quiche, and Kerry had a chicken salad sandwich like you saw. So it was good. Really nice books though. Those little independent bookstores, I used to work at a little independent bookstore. It's all about hand selling kind of like what's popular in the moment. You can't like keep a deep catalog because you have to have what's gonna move over and turn over. So it's a really exciting time. I really had a good time. I'm glad I came down. Happy birthday.
I really loved this experience. It's not something I would have done normally. I did it just for the show, but I'm so glad I did.
I love when you can make that thing emote. That seems like it's kind of hard to wrangle. I'm so glad I did. It must have, take capitals. No, because you said if you do capitals, it reads the letters or something. That's interesting. I have a confession. It turns out that Kerry had a whole intro ready to say, and I was supposed to welcome her and all that, but I did not know that. But if it makes any sense in the world, run it. And if not, I guess we'll do it another something.
Yeah, that's kind of a cruel irony about the voice tech that Kerry is using, is that it can clone perfectly. However, it won't do it unless she can speak something very specific, and she can't do that right now. So it's like, it would be really nice if it would work for her, but she can't actually speak the words that it wants, like the movie Sneakers. This is my voice. My voice is my passport. Verify me.
In this episode of Play for Time, we'll share all my birthday shenanigans. Chris and I went to Beacon Hill Books and Cafe, and everyone's favorite guest star, Dan Gorgone, joined us on an excursion to a local museum, as well as a trip to the Johnny Cupcakes store in Boston. We got to wish Johnny well on the store's last day. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. You're like a ventriloquist. Yeah, if you lipped it the whole time, then that would be an effect.
I was telling Kerry that this version, this voice, it's almost like it's Scarlett Johansson doing an impression of Kerry. Like there's something about it. I'm like, I feel like I've heard that voice before, but not from Kerry. It's slightly something. I don't know.
Please don't
It's easy
call
to
me on
confuse the
phone.
two.
I can't answer because I literally can't talk.
So true.
That is so true. Dan, I wanted to talk for a minute about your so the app is 11labs.io. So if you want to check this thing out, if for some reason you felt like you needed to get a break on your voice, or if you lose your voice for 30 plus days, like some people sometimes do, there's an app for it. Dan, I wanted to talk one quick second about the editing, because I was gushing about this before we went live, which is just the sense that we edit different, and I'm sloppy and you're a pretty precise guy. And you also have, like, for instance, in the Johnny Cupcakes, you did this transition where it was kind of like a plasma circle kind of a thing. And it went, and next thing you know, we're in the case. Or you'll show the ovens and then whoosh, we're looking at Kerry's shirt that has the ovens. I've also heard that one of your editing tricks is that you edit to the sound, almost like Edgar Wright movies and stuff like that. Tell me just a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. For a lot of these clips that we've done for Play for Time, you'll notice that there is a lot of editing on like beats and stuff like that. And I just think it's a good kind of practice to have if you have a pretty powerful music track. And a lot of the stuff that we've done for the show here is very montagey. So there's a lot of still photos or a lot of clips or something, and we're just trying to kind of share that experience and kind of the vibe that we had wherever we were, whether it was up in Montreal or at Johnny Cupcakes or wherever. So cutting on the beat kind of like it pulls the viewer into it. I got lucky because Camtasia, which is the editing program I use, I've been using it for years. I'm very well experienced with it. So, I'm pretty good with it and pretty fast. And, but they have a bunch of fun transitions that for my professional stuff, I have never used. I have a very select few transitions that in professional instructional design type things that I do, I'm going to use fades. I'm going to use cross dissolves, maybe one or two kind of funky transitions, but go back to the Barbie piece that I cut together, and there's all these like hearts and things, and they had some like Valentine's Day package that they let you download for free, and I was like, I guess I'll take it just in case I ever need it, and there you go. So it's nice to have that stuff available for occasions like this, but yeah, I've been editing for many years. I started doing editing in independent film 20 some odd years ago. So you needed to be a good editor. You needed to be very precise, and I kind of carried that over to my professional work.
I think there's definitely a difference between what centuries and decades people worked on certain video editing tech too, because there was a lot of like you just couldn't do it some other way, so you had to kind of struggle along, whereas certain things you can just throw a pile of clips in and the AI goes, that's probably good, and maybe it is probably good. But I find that I'm a student of your editing style. So for instance, I did a little video clip for this episode called Snow at Night. And all I kept hearing in my head was the beat, do the beat, follow the beat for Dan, do the beat. And every now and again, I will F it up. But as people are watching and listening along on this one, see if you can see some of my little beat transitions and see how much worse I am than Dan at this. So half the time I'm editing on the 1, the other half the time I'm editing on the 4. I like nothing. Like my fake scarf. Come on, that is the best scarf. It's just like a little. It's like putting a calamari over your neck. So.
And I'm going to offer a suggestion, Chris, because I mean I like the video, but here's my suggestion. So the vibe of the video was it was night, it was snowy, and the music that you chose was very kind of chill and calm. And to me, that kind of makes me think that I should throw some dissolves in rather than hard cuts from a picture to a video. Maybe a dissolve from one thing, because it's a little slower, it's a little calmer, and that's when I'm editing things that would be something that I would choose to do. So and you could even you could cut to black but then fade in to a shot or fade into another video clip. That's just
one of my favorites you ever did that was in the York, Maine clip, which is still one of my favorite videos I've ever seen in my life, no matter what. It's the one right before Santa shows up, and I say, "Look," and you fade to black, and then I go, "Look," into the blackness, and then Santa's there, and I feel like a little kid seeing Santa when I see that clip.
I think that's something I've done a couple times. I did something similar in the Montreal street art tour, when the tour guide pointed to something and then April looked off camera and I cut to black, and I just had it black for like a second. And I think some people freak out because they're like, well, you can't have black. You can't have it be completely black because it feels like it's broken or something. No, it's just like, it's almost like resetting the experience. It's like giving people a chance to breathe with their eyes, if you want to kind of think of it that way. And then you hit them with whatever it is you want them to see. So it becomes even more powerful when you show the next thing. As far as the York, Maine one with Santa, you said the thing like, "Oh, look who it is." But I forget, it was kind of it was edited that way out of necessity, I think, because I didn't have you on camera, or you set it off camera or something like that. I thought, well, we'll just have the audio of Chris over black and then hit him with Santa. And then it becomes bing. And then with the music that we chose too, it was this Christmassy sort of thing. Boom.
Hey, there's a comment.
Hey.
I'm going to just keep laughing at these soundboards you do. Breathe with your eyes. The minute Dan said it, I wrote it in a note beside me because I was like, that's so smart. That's the quote of the quotes of this whole thing is breathe with your eyes. I think that's super, super cool.
Hey, there's a comment.
Kerry and I were talking about the soundboard that she was going to put together, and she made the point silently that it was a lot like what you see these YouTube videos with, when you get cats talking, you get those the buttons on the floor. I don't know if you've seen this, but people try to train the cats to speak with these buttons. So be like, eat, food, eat, hungry, or mad, or sad, happy, sad, things like that. And so I just knew Kerry would have a mad, and hit Chris with that at some point during the show.
Nope. Hey, nope. Hey, nope. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
No,
hey,
absolutely
Chris,
not.
You're on mute again.
I hate that that's a reasonable one to have. All right. So for our last clip, we went as part of Kerry's birthday shenanigans to the Peabody Essex Museum, which is in Salem, Massachusetts. As you know, even when we were just prepping up Play for Time, we went to Salem. We go to Salem quite a bit. Dan, Kerry, and I went there for a Pokemon Go event, which is another clip we're going to do at some point. Dan's got an idea for that. So we went to Peabody Essex Museum. Now, the idea that we went there for was something conjuring in the spirit world. And it was the time around Harry Houdini and all that sort of stuff, early 1900s, 1920s. And it was very, very fascinating as the people talking about spirit world and that sort of thing. But then also, it turns out the Peabody Essex Museum went to China, disassembled a house that had been in the Wang dynasty for a very, very long time. Qing dynasty Huang family, and put it back together again in Salem, Mass. So we got to go and look in there.
Hey, there's a comment.
Hi, Annette. I can't imagine being a lawyer and having no voice. And a media maker. Kerry's job day to day is to make media for our company. Thank goodness she got 10 people to more or less volunteer under protest to do that job. And so Dan put this one together. It's a piece of art. The thing is, it was also kind of a bigger file, so I stuck it on the tubes of you, which is good, but we'll watch it that way. So I think this means that you have to not talk or mute ourselves, but here we go. So we're at the Peabody Essex Museum today. We're going to go to a couple different things. We're going to go to one called Conjuring the Spirit World, which is about mediums and people finding and breaking through the barriers. But this is a museum, so I don't know what that's ultimately going to mean. And we're going to go see some cool Chinese stuff at the Yin Yu Tan House, not the Wu-Tang Clan house. And we're going to go there and check out really cool old-timey Chinese things that were rebuilt here in America in 2003 for this museum. Come with me. So it's kind of crazy being in a house that they tore down, took from China all the way back to Massachusetts, assembled, and now we're roaming it like the peasants we are. So cool. All right, so we were just at the Wu-Tang Clan exhibit on Martin Scorsese Day, and it's the Yin Yu Tan house that they brought to the PBD Essex Museum on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This was partly your bad idea. Did you see what you wanted? Did you see some neat old timey things? What was your favorite room? Was that bedroom setup the coolest? The upstairs bedroom where it had wallpaper from England. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was really neat. It was kind of cute that there was an active koi pond in it and a bunch of security people worried that we were going to move things. Wear your jackets though if you come in the wintertime because it is a little chilly out back there. There's like a porthole open in case you want to shoot arrows at conquering people and whatever. It was crazy up there. Well, thank you. Catch you. Wow. Oh,
Good times.
In the back. Okay.
Hey, there's a
That was
comment.
crazy. See,
Hey, there's a comment.
We do have a chip. There are so many things to say about this one. One of the things I was thinking was that Kerry does a lot of the filming in these moments, but then you also do as well. And Kerry takes like plenty of B-roll because what we've come to learn is if you take lots and lots and lots of little clips, you can use them to kind of flow things in. So for instance, just like the you pausing and looking back and then redoubling that with the black and white. I love that. But the shot I want to start with first, which is near the end, is people cannot begin to understand, like we're three pretty good sized humans and we're going down, Dan goes down this very narrow path on the upstairs towards that porthole, goes past both of us and we have to know to scatter and sticks the camera right out through the porthole. That was awesome. That was like movie scene awesome. They must have thought we were the weirdest people there.
Oh, I doubt it. I'm sure they get plenty of people with cameras doing crazy stuff, and people have probably dropped their cameras or phones off the balcony on the second floor. As far as that shot goes, I was handling the camera when we went into the house there, and when I turned and I saw Kerry standing in front of that window, it was very dark except for the very bright sun that was coming in. I knew like, well, maybe there's a shot that I could get, and that's just kind of like, you know, sort of like movie making instincts, just sort of go down the hallway, follow that. And then if you react or you don't react, it doesn't matter because we're there to kind of see the place. But you guys played along there and I just took the camera and fed it out the window to see what happens. Sometimes those shots work. Other times they don't. They look silly or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of fun.
Can we do person of the day again?
No. But Joanne has a pretty interesting comment. She says,
Can we do person of the day again? Can we do person?
Nope.
By the way, I found out from the British series QI that the Ouija board was originally just a game from Parker Brothers, had nothing to do with spirits, and just was a thing. We had a clip that we ended up not using with Kerry and I trying to do a Ouija board, and it was funny in its own right, but it did not fit the flow of everything very well. So that's another thing about editing is that, you know, you have to make editorial choices. That's why there's a cutting room floor, right, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, if you ever, anyone out there, if you ever want to shoot something in a similar way and make kind of like a highlight reel of an experience, just shoot lots and lots of stuff. Don't try to figure out in the moment exactly how you're going to cut something together, because invariably some of those clips are not going to work, or there could be a technical issue, or it's just not as good as you thought it was when you look at it later. Yeah, there's plenty of things that didn't make it in there, but for example, one of those things that did kind of work was the shot of that poster where I'm walking towards it and then I start turning the camera for it. And I just thought it'd be kind of fun. And I thought maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But then you hit it with, you mix it with the right piece of music, and there was like a boosh, like or something that went along with it. I'm like, that's kind of fun.
How do you stay engaged with life? Send us your videos and we'll share them on the show. Chris@chrisbrogan.com.
So strange, but so cool.
And you know, those clips are on YouTube, right? A lot of these old clips now.
You can now go to youtube.com/Chris Brogan, and we put the Play for Time clips there. So if something went past, or you had to answer the door or something like that, you can go and check out the whole clip again if you want. You can look at a lot of Dan's wizardry and my attemptedry, and we can get there.
Or you want to watch, you're reminiscent, or you're missing the York, Maine Christmas spirit in your life. You can go watch the parade again.
I mean, it's one for the ages. I think the parade. I think it's one of those ones where we'll always have a good value to have it there. So I think it's worth it. I don't know. I don't know if we had, Kerry, do you have any other buttons you have to push before we, decide we're good or something like that? Because, otherwise I could, do something like this.
Please don't call me on the phone.
Oh.
I can't answer because I...
York, Maine, a place I haven't been except during summertime. And now we're here with a bunch of fire trucks getting ready for a parade. It's cold, but I have coffee that's burning my innards, so we'll be fine.
As you can see, the streets are filled with well-wishers, celebrants, people who just want to get together and party and have a good time.
We're going to move our way through this crowd right now. We're going to try to risk it because I want to see if we can get a little closer to the front of the action. I'm a little worried about how many people are here, though. It could be a mob. Well, now I got a hot chocolate in my pants.
It's cold and it's slow, and it's like molasses in winter. It's not very enjoyable. Security people here.
He's doing a loop.
Oh, there he goes. Very nimble in that little tractor. Here we are in hour 7 of the parade. Temperatures have dropped. So have spirits. But we're still here. Our batteries are somehow still working. So we're still recording.
We're going to keep hope alive.
That's right.
Look at this. Merry Christmas!
Scale of 1 to 10, Chris, what'd you think of this parade?
I think this is a solid 2.8. I think they really came with it this year. I feel like they gave it 110%.
There was some sweet innocence, purity on display, but I couldn't see most of it as my eyes were frozen shut. Thank you for pouring the hot water over my face earlier.
So this is my
That
pleasure.
helped.
Second half of this parade, I think it's going to really pick up. I think we got to really go at it. We got to give them 110%.
Yep. All right. Day 3 starts in just 5 minutes. We'll see you. Back to you in the studio.
There we go, York, Maine, just, because we had to. All right, that's it.
What?
Celebrants.
Is it over?
I shut it. I shut it off early. All right.
Is it over?
That's the best part.
Is that
Is
it?
it over? We have so many quotes from that. Speaking of which, that would have been a great way to end the show, don't you think? Is if I